I think you ought to be careful, Commander. After what we saw in that lab on Cloister, I ain't keen on aligning with Auntie's choice and handing them more power. More importantly, it's becoming clear to me that folk don't actually want us here. Westport resisted as long as they could. You think that doesn't extend to the rest of the populace? There is another option. The Order. They're trying to do right by the refugees, after all, and seem reasonable when they ain't being strong-armed by extremists. You could consider them. Transition of power will be smoother anyway, if this war's anything to go by. I'm glad you're considering it. Listen, normally I'd take issue with one person playing Kingmaker. That is to say, you, and especially the Earth Directorate. But time's too short, and the stakes are too high for tribalism. There'll be enough time for that later. For now, we need to ally with someone who can defeat the Protectorate and close the rifts. So whatever you decide, I'll support you. We should move on, unless you got something for me?
We should talk, Commander. Commander, I've been thinking on the fact that so many of my slack-witted brethren believe it reasonable that I've been marked for death. So much so that I've missed the obvious, our communication devices. There is someone who would have tried to contact me to warn me. Someone who wouldn't have been taken in by a faked kill order. Not from him. He was different from most of these slack-jawed sprat bastards. I knew him from before. Long before the Glorious Dawn. We had a secret code we used to hide things from our parents before... Well, never mind that. Very well. Let's just say that he was forbidden to associate with me and leave it at that. Anyway, if he used that code to embed a message to me within a Dawn missive, no one would have even known it was there. I should have been checking our comm devices, damn it. I know we have camps on Cloister and Praetor, but I'm not sure of the exact locations. I'd like to try to find one and clear it out so I can access one of our devices. Hopefully, it will bring me that much closer to whoever it is I need to kill to put an end to this nonsense.
That scum! That miserable scum! To think he would stoop so low as to overthrow the Sovereign! I shall not rest until the Consul pays for his treachery, and Arcadia's rightful ruler is reinstated. Were they still the Protectorate, such would be a traitorous aim to entertain. But a Protectorate led by the Consul is no Protectorate at all. I fear how my fellow subjects will respond to this news. I believe that most will remain loyal to the Sovereign, but I will need to deal with those who strayed. I know all too well how easily one can be manipulated into misdeeds through blind servitude. I shall do my utmost to bring those who can be saved onto the path of righteousness. I sincerely doubt this is the end of my thoughts related to the matter, but we've wasted enough time with my ruminating. Let us be off.
Oh, I didn't expect us to wander into the scene of a murder, but somehow I'm not entirely surprised. Anomalous events have a way of spreading, multiplying. We should find a way inside. There might be clues to what happened, and where Anais's research is now. They should have been sealed in that room to focus on their studies uninterrupted. No one in or out. I'd suspect the missing anchorite knows something, at least. We should ask her. Might be some signs in there of where she went. The terminal at Winter's Grasp said Anais' work was sent here. There might be signs of that, or where the missing anchorite got off to. I've had a chance to look around. You seem like you've done a thorough sweep. We should discuss what we've uncovered. A disputation of current order methodology focuses mainly on our presiding bishop, but saves ample room for the Laureate Council and previous regime as well. I believe I got the gist by efficiently skimming. The general concern is that the order has lost its way. My old department is repeatedly mentioned in a favorable light. Anais' work is regarded highly. I saw that. I believe it was Anchoress Chow's diary. Spoke about regular visits by an exemplar Southworth, who requested access to Anais' work. Chow seemed worried they were conspiring about something. That they'd mentioned an old order research station. Poor thing. Blunt force trauma to the occipital lobe, I believe. Possible signs of an altercation. Might have been an accident. Might not have been. Hard to say with just a superficial glance. At the very least, her cloister mate Anchoress Brunn has some explaining to do. I don't know what happened to Anchoress Chow, but leaving a body behind is suspicious, and the disputation reads like a call to arms for any fringe thinkers in the Order. That old research facility seems the most likely spot to look next. I know the coordinates on Eden, placed by the name of Point Obviation. There's no destroying the copies at this point, I'm afraid. We're past that. The research is out there. We need a way to keep anyone from taking it up further in the future. If we go in guns blazing from here, it will only continue. We need a plan to annihilate the idea. This is the exact sort of work we did at the Department of Preemptive Causal Redirection. Diverting problematic events. We learned how to best respond once things begin to spread. We developed tactics at the Department of Preemptive Causal Redirection to minimize unforeseeable consequences. We can discuss once we see the situation on the ground. Yes, time to seek out Anchoress Brunn.
Bye-bye. Cease any and all manner. Don't know who you all are, but unexpected guests are categorically unwelcome here. How'd you even find this place? Maybe I should just shoot you and glean details from your logs.
Ah, exemplar, if I may. Surely you recognize such a notable member of our cohort, Marisol Delgado. The endpoint?
I can't recall if I ended whoever came up with that name. Surely hope so.
You were head causality intercessor of the Department of Preemptive Causal Redirection, right up till the end, correct?
More or less.
Well, what a fortuitous alignment of low probability events this is. Our efforts here are based on your former department. You should confer with Anchoress Brunn straight away.
Oh, I'm quite certain Anchoress Brunn would relish the opportunity to talk your ear off. We actually sought to find you and others of your program, Intercessor Delgado. A serendipitous event, you arriving. Nonetheless, I'd ask you to follow certain precautions. Will you heed all requests and vouchsafe for your colleagues here? Them being unknown to us and all.
We'll mind our manners, Exemplar. I'll see to it.
Then, you may all proceed. You'll find Wilhelmina up the lift, 4th floor.
Welcome to Point Obviation.
Anchoress Brunn is continuing Anais' research from Winter's Grass. I'm sure of it. Best play along for now, until we can ascertain the best course of action.
Playing along. Duration indeterminate.
Look, everyone! It's the endpoint. Come to join us, I take it.
I do have a unique interest in what you all are doing here.
I am a longtime vocal exponent of your work, Intercessor Delgado. Hope you don't mind me saying. Go on up. You're expected.
Anchorites are reclusive and highly regarded in Order Society. Anchoress Brunn's presence here indicates the importance of this facility.
Oh, who's this? Oh, yes, I remember you. We met earlier at the site of my former seclusion. I've heard much of your exploits since. If I recall correctly, you helped prove Anchoress Chow's argument that violence is sometimes necessary. I admit I have modified my stance toward that more recently. I understand your actions led to Seer Wiley's unfortunate demise. Such a bright boy, such promise. And as for you, I've been informed that you're Marisol Delgado. I've read your file. An impressive body of work, though often quite mortiferously inclined.
Less so over time. There were too many pesky repercussions, I came to find.
Yes, well, to what do we owe the pleasure? Are you familiar with our goals? Come to join up, perhaps, or should I say re-enlist? It was more of a disputation as a scholarly objection than a manifesto per se, but why quibble? Anchoress Chow is very much against it. Her accident was quite tragic. You saw the disputation, though. Tell me, what did you think? You read it, yes? A truly unfortunate accident. I had posted my disputation and stated my intention to leave. We argued heatedly. Objects were thrown. She stumbled and fell badly. We try to honor her loss. Such tragedy only underlines the importance of our endeavors here. Each day the equation remains unsolved. Countless more tragedies occur. We must succeed at the soonest possible haste. Surely you're aware of the myriad errors of our current presiding bishop and previous regime. One of whom shut down the division that operated here, the other squandered it. Our sect aims to end human suffering, sooner than later. We've taken great inspiration from your former department, from their methods and their science. To solve the universal equation in our lifetime requires bold action, clever calculation, and assiduous work. Yes, we have Grace, that is Exemplar Southworth, to thank for that. Her visits to the Anchorhold were quite thought-provoking, as was the research she showed me from Sia Bujold. Bujold's thinking was unconventional, ahead of her time. Why, in fact, she's here with us now today, overseeing an experiment that proves her researcher's theories.
Really? Seer Bujold is here, at present, in this facility? The one we're presently standing in?
Not long at all. We reached out to her on Cloister. She agreed to join us immediately. If you thought her work before was captivating, wait until you hear the experiment she's overseeing now. The intent is to represent the building blocks of the universe within a test chamber, then extrapolate data revealing the universal equation from the micro-universe that forms.
Sounds like it could change everything, one might say.
Why, you should go see for yourself. As former colleagues, I'm sure you'd like to reacquaint. Go on. I'll call down to let her know you're coming. Yes, she's monitoring the experiment. I'll have elevator access unlocked so you can join her. Do please stay in the observation area, though. The work is quite delicate. We'll speak further after you check over Sia Bujold's work and the experiment concludes. Oh, so exciting. How much longer do you predict preparations will take?
Almost ready. Perfect timing for my former colleague to peer review my work. I'll press them to verify my settings. Thereupon, we will begin.
Splendid. While others pontificate, we act. I await word of our success with bated.
Head Intercessor Delgado, what an opportune time for you to appear. At the perfect moment to assist our experiment.
What in the endless void are you?
Shh. Comms off, but others are near. I need your aid before this ridiculous affair careens into disaster. Can I rely on you this time? Or will you already intend on scurrying away again? I came to derail this line of inquiry in such a discommodious way that no one would ever consider trying it again. For all the aforementioned reasons of it likely causing, or at least queuing up and leading to, the end of all things. You chose to leave me behind, again. So when they came calling, I thought it an opportunity to sort it all myself. Yet, admittedly, at this moment, I could use your assistance.
This shouldn't be your burden. It's on me.
You don't get to decide that, or adjudicate, or coolly comment in a steely growl. Not falling for that a 10th time. Help, or stay out of my way. The test involves 4 stations. Each represents one of the fundamental building blocks of the universe. Zeranium gas, macro-ivs, nucleons, N-rays. All the usual stuff. That test chamber is where all are meant to mix. To simulate a mini-universe I can apply my theories to, pull data from, and deduce the universal equation in a reduced time frame. We know what happens if that's successful, so I need you to muck with each station's settings, then initiate the experiment. All you need to do is adjust each station's settings slightly. Things will cascade from there. Remember, subtlety is required.
Yes, if we alter the experiment input data in a less than delicate fashion, Brun will notice, I assure you.
The guards on the 2nd floor won't appreciate visitors, so avoid getting spotted. Here's a maintenance key. Head down the vent. It's only the fate of the galaxy riding on it, so perhaps try to be careful.
It's Fibonacci, a sequence largely summoned to preceding numbers gives us math that brings us wonders. Define recurrence relation, get us to sequence summation. It's Fibonacci. Hard to get in a good sleep cycle. These constant permutations upsetting everyone's natural levels. permanently eradicate algorithmic dissonance. One, 2, 3, 5, 8. 1, 2, 3, 5, 8. Yes? A all solution. Ceasing deliberation.
Something wrong back there? Hello? I'm no tenured archivist, but that sounds dangerously unstable.
Constant permutations upsetting everyone's natural lines. Path to ascendancy is non-linear. So it says in the good textbook. Huh.
If you're done, evaluating my work and all settings are final, enter the terminal command to void the oxygen from the test chamber. The experiment will then begin. Commendable effort, Scrap.
Did it work? Did it work? See, Bouchard, was it a success? What happened?
Hold the applause just yet. I need to run the numbers. I'm sending the others back up to you. They can describe the proceedings in detail.
I shall await their arrival. Anchor's Brun out. That is how these messages end, yes? If not, farewell.
The results of the experiment will be a career-ending embarrassment for Anchoress Brun, but she won't accept this lightly. We'll need to do more.
Yes, our next steps here will be crucial. I know this type of mission well. Granted, my targets were always meticulously well researched beforehand.
You'll need to convince her, destroy her logic, end this research for good. All it requires is a forceful array of incisive argumentation, logical reasoning, coercive persuasion, and cognitive contortioning.
You mean one of our old brain-off maneuvers? Really? That's what the rank and file in our old department used to call it. Provost Bolding considered it a casual moniker unbefitting of an order scientician.
Make Brun give up on science, logic, and reason entirely. Then no one will ever dare continue the research again. Between you and Marisol, it should be A light challenge. Easy.
A brain-off against an Order anchorite isn't entirely without risk. We could employ certain other methods to deal with her. From our former department's playbook.
Oh, yes, a book you wrote titled Making an Execution Look Like an Accident. Despite the moral quandary ideally involved, unseen consequences still abound.
That's hyperbolic at best. Data suggests significantly fewer unpredicted outcomes than outright murder, if properly executed. And I'm quite capable of skewing results in our favor.
And here I thought you'd begun to change. Success isn't guaranteed. A fair degree of cleverness is required. But you would have the help of someone reasonably intellectually nimble.
I would be willing and on hand to assist, and the other option would remain if we botch it.
Demoralizing an enemy through overwhelming logic may be a preferable alternative to outright murder.
Thank you for listening. That's a relief.
Honestly, I'm relieved as well. I have been trying to be different. From the person others believe me to be.
From the legend? If you're retiring as the endpoint, we'll need to find you a colorful new sobriquet. Typical argumentation may prove useless, and she'll likely see through most attempts at deception. Be clever, unpredictable, surprise her. But in the event you should fail, you'll need a viable backup plan, or it will erase any chance of success completely. The Anchoress is housed in a test chamber similar to this one. It's been refurbished with some rather tacky furniture, but much of the old experimental apparatus remains. There is a hatch near the elevator upstairs. An external ledge leads to a vent system that can connect the two chambers. Doing so will expose the Anchoress to a lethal atmosphere. I'll need to make an announcement afterward that an accident has occurred tied into the experiment.
For an extemporaneous plan, it's not a bad one. What if the Anchoress realizes what we're doing and calls for help?
I'll cut off her comms when she begins pleading. Oh, that sounds even more heartless when I say it out loud. Please choose wisely. Here's the hatch key in case you need it. May all your endeavors elicit expected results. And Marisol, do keep out of trouble.
There you are. You saw the experiment through to the end, yes? The data hasn't arrived yet, so please do tell. Was it as beautiful as I imagined? Any inklings to the result? Or perhaps I oughtn't to have recloistered myself till after the experiment concluded, Well, don't just stand there. Tell me everything. Some issues. You seem like softening the blow. Was there a malfunction? Was there some error in the calculations? Wait. Let's start from the beginning. Step me through your understanding of what's gone awry. Really? In what way? Solving the universal equation demands considerable thoroughness, but also requires all possible efficiency. Though, that said, it's true that we must guard against skimping unduly, to any extent that might introduce error. This was just a start. Such models typically make an enormous amount of errors at first. All quite expected, an anticipated setback, nothing more. It simply needs to be revised and refined. You certainly seem to be making a lot out of this, though, one must say. I miss her skepticalness and insight. If we could agree on a topic, there could be little doubt in its logic and rectitude. Look, there may be some validity to some of your points, yes. But we'll improve. We will continue to stride forward. There's absolutely no need for all this doom and gloom. Oh, is one of you a seer now? Because I put considerable more stock in the prognostications of the Order's prime mathematicians than I do any old run-of-the-mill soothsayer. Now, is that all? Because I think I've had enough of all this. Everything we've done here is built off Seer Bujold's research, which is quite brilliant. Really? Will I become a laughingstock among my peers? Have the whispered jeers begun already? No. No, calm down. Breathe. You've faced setbacks before. Ah, the experiment data just arrived in my terminal. Allow me to eyeball it a moment. Perhaps there's something here to help prove or disprove any of what you've been saying. There was notable variance to the input data, to an extent suggesting external dithering occurred. I hate to use the word sabotage, but disruptive intent seems clearly discernible. Did you? Tenured actuarian Himmelfarb has mentioned concerns. That doesn't rule out external tampering, though. This has been a difficult conversation. Challenging, disputatious, at times compelling. Yet I remain unswayed.
If I may, I have a point I'd like to add. There's a critical flaw in Seer Bujold's approach I think best illustrated by this English phrase. Time flies like an arrow. Fruit flies like a banana. I much appreciate this jest. Very simple, yet clever. Because in English, the word like can mean similar to or I prefer. And flies can be to soar, or plural of the insect. Through this perspective, it functions, makes sense, is humorous even. But in another language where words' meanings differ slightly, it does not. The framework we interpret the statement from changes, thus rendering it uninterpretable. False. Bujold's method of shortcutting the universal equation is much the same.
It lacks context. When you extrapolate the data from the mini-universe to the larger one, the information itself may scale correctly, but fail to interrelate. That is an interesting thought puzzle. As humorous as it is inapplicable. I remain unswayed.
We tried. Our fallback plan's our only option now. Head for the hatch.
What was that? You're starting to worry me. What do you intend to do?
Fellow scholars of the Order, a tragic accident has occurred. During our recent experiment in Test Chamber Beta, we failed to recognize that ventilation systems had been left connected to Test Chamber Alpha. As you know, it had been recently refurbished as an enclosure for Ankaris Brun. She gave her life for science. Well, it's true that we found the related research deeply flawed, but she gave her life for the pursuit of science. As the experiment was a colossal failure, I, as senior scientist remaining, have determined we must abandon this inquiry and shut down the program immediately. Oh, such a terrible shame. Farewell!
P and Q are true if P is true or Q is true. A simple truth table for turbulent times.
I understand now why they say never meet your heroes, Intercessor Delgado. You've truly been an enormous disappointment. A key experiment fails and Ankaris Brun falls prey to an unfortunate accident, right after you and your consort arrive. And we are all to believe these events are unrelated?
That's circumstantial and more than a mite bit paranoid. I expect better from an Order scientician. Even one from the Department of Applied Scientism.
Don't think I don't see your handprints all over this, Delgado. Don't try to lay the responsibility for this on me. I'm not buying it. The Anchoress, poor trusting soul that she was, may have believed you were here in good faith, but I don't. You're looking more and more like enemies to me. Fascinating. You know, I reviewed that work myself, right? I'm well versed in manipulative prevarication from feckless mutineers. Try again. Or try facing a gauntlet of well-trained exemplars. I could always choose for you.
According to my field calculations, we are well past the point where we need to be delicate here. In fact, I strongly suggest we wipe the floor with these ill-notioned traitors, starting with this one, the arrogant know-nothing who led Anchoress Brunn astray.
This slapdash pretense is over. I knew it!
Proceeding to attack.
Emergency protocols ready.
Try to limit further damage, Commander. Target analyzed. Lay down fire. Combatant scanned. Faulty impact variable.
Investigating disturbance.
Agents, prepare for combat.
Adversary vulnerabilities identified.
With life support.
Check your scope for combatant analysis.
Questline, teammates.
Stun weapon ready, Commander. Have a fix on their weaknesses.
Promoting teammate health.
Combatant scan. Adversary vulnerabilities identified.
Balancing the equation.
Target analyzed. Lay down fire.
Oh, look who it is. The legendary former head intercessor of the Order. Another mission successfully completed. Made it through all that without a scratch, hmm? Glad to see. Say, I know this was difficult and rather a mess, but you listened. You tried to do right before you did what you must. I appreciate it, the attempt. No matter how that may sound.
The credit or blame belongs to the commander here. It was their decision, ultimately.
You forget I know you. You always thought you knew better. No one could ever convince you of anything. Before, that is. Good to see. Maybe you are facing yourself.
There are a few things I'm still not used to saying. I was wrong. I'm sorry. Please. And thank you. But thank you, Anais.
At any rate, I'm off. You all take care now. Marisol, don't be too enigmatic or anything. Try. Before I forget. Meant to give you this earlier.
Oh, thank you, Anais. Goodbye. Oh, Brunn obviously murdered her. Thought you knew that. Perhaps it was an accident. Perhaps she simply wanted to knock Chow unconscious so she could sneak away. Or not. Indefinite immurement isn't for everyone. Even the finest minds may crack under the strain. But her canned, feigned concern about Chow, how she kept changing the subject, both belied an underlying sense of guilt to me. Oh, not really. Not yet, at any rate. Everything's a bit raw right now. But suppose I will be. Thank you, dear. Commander, it's customary to evaluate results after a mission of reasonable significance. Would now be good? I've had some time to cogitate over what occurred at Point Obviation. Some parts don't sit right with me still. Wonder if you and I might talk it through. A bit, yes. With the work I used to do, I'm no stranger to guilt and regret. Midway into my requisite sleep cycle is when it usually plagues me the most. We could have done better by Anchoress Brunn. If we'd properly convinced her to abandon the research, I'd doubtlessly still lament duping her, but she'd be alive. And yet, such actions were par for the course for me in the past. When my remorse for Brunn rears its head, it will need to get in line. Well, I wouldn't bet against you there. Yes, Southworth was complicit. And now she's dead. I hope so, at least. According to Anais, we could have reduced the likelihood of that occurring by completing the brain-off. It's not anywhere near zero, but it's unlikely. She seemed pleased that we at least attempted to address her concerns, so I've changed, apparently. Thanks to you. It's been a while since anyone gave me a good talking to like Anais did. And I'll admit your influence has been rather positive. I'm pleased with the path I'm on now. I didn't think this is what the plan had in store for me. I've been facing myself with the same zeal I face my enemies. With tidier results. Appreciate you taking the time to talk it over, Commander.
Too clean for my taste. Makes you wonder what he's hiding.
What kind of tomfoolery is this? Maintaining perfection! ends do you endeavor? What's your purpose of boarding search?
As of this morning's demonstration, we have finally proven my central thesis. Matter within the rifts is not permanently destroyed. Broken down into pure information. This confirms many of our theories about the rift to an overwhelming degree, including the potential to restore this information, albeit imperfectly. I expect the Sovereign will be most pleased. I'm scheduled to meet with him later today to discuss my findings more in depth. Note to self, impress upon the Sovereign the risks of this research, lest he insist on attending the next demonstration. I surely cannot rely on Valancourt to do his actual job.
Unbelievably, suspicion, right? System endures! Hastening to cover!
You're just not a good look, Commander.
Let me know when you need a distraction.
Being in such close proximity to multiple rifts, I find it hard to focus. What about it? I do not wish to discuss it. We're not just gonna leave that alone, are we? Come on. I have to. I need to see it.
Don't worry, don't question, don't doubt.
Got a distraction for you. Come at it.
How are you still upright over there?
Who needs to die? Looks like a Dom camp is up ahead. We should be able to find one of our devices there. Finally! Maybe now I can get to the truth of this kill order nonsense. I just need to check our comms device for a coded message from my old acquaintance, Severin. I knew it! He wants to help me find out who's behind this. I sent a reply telling him to meet me at a place that should be safe. It's on Cloister.
Commander. Just say when.
I'm alive. Who needs to die? I told Severin to meet us at a spot near here. Let's keep moving.
Over here! You. I don't know you. But you, I do. It's good to see you, Asa. It's me, Severin. You know, I've never been to Cloister before. It's cold.
What is wrong with you? Boy, damn it! Did they mentally refresh you?
No, let's just say I'm well lubricated. You tried the new Prestige gin? It helps when you have to do something you really don't want to do. Yes, there are a bunch of sentinels in hiding. When I give the word, they're to execute both of you.
Not before I mentally refresh your brain pan with my knife.
I didn't want to do this. I guess I shouldn't have questioned the kill order so loudly. It was real. It came from the exalted leader herself. She summoned me, knew of the message I'd sent, said I'd ruined everything. To save myself, save the Dawn, I had to do this. I'm a coward. I didn't want to die. I'm sorry, Asa.
Absolutely not. We don't need his help. We should just kill him and get on with the Sentinel killing. If we die, at least I'll be taking a great many of them with us. You make a compelling argument. No need to waste our time killing yet more faceless cogs in the Protectorate machine. As fun as that may be.
But you're basically just asking me whether I'd like to be killed by you or the Sentinels. Because when they figure it out, they'll execute me. That gin must have muddled my gray matter more than I thought. I'd have sworn there was no way out of this, but what you're saying makes a lot of sense. Thank you. And thank you, Asa. I thought I was dead.
What an idiot. I can't believe I thought of him as a friend. I can't believe she betrayed us. And the whole of the Dawn to save her own life. What a coward. The unspeakable things I will do when I find her. Well, once I find her. The exalted... No, I won't refer to her as such any longer. Dagmar continually moved around for safety. She always initiated contact with me. We do know that she was in league with the Sentinels, though. There's nothing of it but to get ourselves inside their headquarters on Praetor. We'll track her by accessing their comm system. Lots of killing, I'd assume. And we don't need to worry about their systems. My parents were vigilant. I stole their access codes when I was younger, but never had the nerve or call to use them. Once we do, they'll become unusable, as they'll set off all sorts of alarms. I did mention all the killing, didn't I? What of it? So were a lot of people. It is no longer of any matter, regardless. They are dead. And no, before you ask, I did not kill them. Dagmar. The cur. How could she betray me? Her, of all people. The one who recruited me into the Dawn and saved my life. And out of all the cultists, she elevated me to the highest rank in the Dawn. Was her right hand. She was my supervisor. I was just a lowly scientist. She alone could see my heart through the shell the Protectorate encased me in. And when she saw my pain, she looked into my background. It was then that she recruited me. My psychological profile. I saw it once. Recommended sending me to mental refreshment when I was young. Repeatedly. Something about killing sprats. But my parents were able to keep that from happening. The paranoia the Protectorate creates in its subjects crowds everything else out. Even familial love. They were terrified that my behavior would lead people to start looking at them askance. You remember I told you they were vigilant, right? They could have helped me in numerous ways, ways lesser subjects' parents couldn't. But they did nothing. Just locked me away until I learned to hide my feelings. My existence was always bleak, joyless, without purpose. Just like every other subject's. Dagmar was the first friend I'd had since I was a young child. She gave me a life, a family. Or so I thought. Thank you. But Dagmar has shown me I can't depend on anyone. I have to let my beliefs guide me now. They're all I have left. It's hard to explain, but outside of the lab, thinking only ever confused me, got me into trouble. Since I joined the Dawn, everything has been so much simpler. I depend on the Dawn's beliefs. Without them, I would have nothing but a purposeless existence. I just can't, and I won't. I'm certain we've better things to do than whatever this is.
Central control is open to no visitors. Turn around.
That somebody?
You get the unfriendly company. Ooh, an enemy. Either restore my life or avenge my death.
So, Dagmar didn't betray us to the Sentinels. She is a Sentinel, with a fucking office here in Central Control. It's enough to make one take leave of their sanity.
I reckon that ship's already sailed off into another fucking dimension.
I'm just going to pretend I didn't hear that. Fortunately, there's an easy solution to Dagmar's betrayal, one which involves removing her head from her body. Or maybe we should start with the disemboweling? So many choices.
Well, well, as a Helia Lightinger, I suppose I shouldn't be surprised you've made it this far. In addition to your wonderful thirst for wanton violence, you were always bright, though still somehow too thoroughly deluded to apprehend the truth. But then again, you never really wanted to, did you? Yes, well, can it truly even be considered betrayal if it was always lies? And Aza's willful ignorance made her the perfect candidate when I started the Dawn at the Consul's behest.
What are you talking about? There were cultists before me!
No, there were not. The fiction of a cult was born out of the need to convince the Sovereign to return to the true spirit of the Protectorate. The Consul feared he was too weak. You say that as if it's a bad thing. Society needs to be controlled for the greater good, by any means necessary. Or would you prefer a more corporate way of life?
Anyone with a lick of sense would prefer our way. The only folk who jump at the chance to shackle others are the ones who are free from that same control. Ain't that right?
Dagmar, all this can't be right. How can you spout such lies? Our cause is righteous. It has to be.
And there it is. I almost felt sorry for you, Azahelia. You were so pathetic. So willing to believe specious arguments backed with only the flimsiest of proofs. Ah, well, such is life. But your usefulness is not yet at an end. Your death will put me back in the Consul's good graces. Goodbye, Aza.
No, that's too quick. What about... No, not painful enough. Yes, that's it. I just need to find a piece of heat-conducting metal and something to peel the skin effectively. What, you suddenly take issue with my methods? I can think of no reason to curtail the pleasure of my revenge. Dagmar must die. Violently. Her betrayal warrants no other response. I know of no other way to act. I thought the Dawn were my family. But with Dagmar's betrayal and the willingness with which the rest of them turned on me, I just don't know. That's true. And even without threats, Dagmar has a way with people. She made all of us feel our lives weren't meaningless. But she has proven she's not the person any of us thought her to be. Yes. I still have that which gives me meaning, the gift she gave to me. Even if she was a flawed messenger, the truth of the Dawn cannot be allowed to die. I've no choice but to gather whatever faithful are left and start anew. What about it? Their methodology is flawed. They even said they were conducting further experiments. I suppose you think that just because Dagmar betrayed me, it changes anything? One has no bearing on the other. Just because she has lost her faith doesn't make the Dawn's beliefs any less true. I don't want to talk about this anymore. But, thank you just the same.
Hither and yon. My vexation grows as this drags on.
Loyal to the Protectorate, converge on my position at once.
Enemy spotted.
Medkit coming your way.
Either restore my life or avenge my...
And not, nor have ever been, greatly fond of losers.
Lay low, Commander. Medic's orders. Little pick-me. All charged up.
Their location.
Looking pretty scathed, Commander. Another intolerable disruption. Back in business. Net attack out.
Looks like they
Commander, you're
vanished.
bleeding.
Sure as eggs. Right to it then.
Get me go-getting again.
The Protectorate endures.
I'm alive. Who needs to die? Back in
Restoring the
business.
balance.
Wrist weapon primed!
Ah! You're still alive! Now, let's not be too hasty here. You seem a rational person. There must be something we can do to resolve this peacefully. Please don't let Azza get her hands on me.
Why are you talking to them, Dagmar? I'm the one you must answer to. Okay. But if I don't like what she has to say...
Why? I'm a loyal subject to the true Protectorate. What other reason is there? When the Consul tasked me to help save the colony, I did not even think to ask why. And you were an obvious choice. So lost, so dead inside. But then you went berserk. I never could have imagined how you'd take to the killing and mayhem. You brought me great praise from the Consul. Until you started asking questions and killing the wrong people.
It's a good thing for you. I'm feeling a little less vindictive since I've been running with the commander here. That means your death will be quick. Well, quicker than it would have been. What? What are you trying to say? I can't go back to that gray life. I won't. Why did I ever listen to you and all your questions in the first place? I feel like I don't know anything anymore.
You saw that, Azahelia? And you still believed? I am impressed by your dedication to the Dawn's theology. Dismissing hard evidence like that. I suppose I shouldn't be surprised. It took you long enough to start questioning the fact that the Dawn always seemed to be being sent to places that benefited the Consul politically. Not to mention they were forbidden from throwing themselves into their beloved rifts unless given specific instructions to do so. Couldn't have them all just killing themselves.
Yes. More than enough, actually. I'd gone too far to admit it. Until the end, when I could no longer completely ignore the dissonance in my head. It's lies. All of it. Get out of here, Dagmar. Before I change my mind.
Yes, well, can I just grab my... no, I suppose not. I'll show myself out.
What do I do now? I know that, but thank you for saying so. I meant, what should I do about the unhinged members of the Glorious Dawn? Without a leader, they could be even more dangerous. We may need to do some killing. You know, for old time's sake. I can send out a general message from here. I'll need to concoct some plausible theory to sell them on, though. Can't simply tell them to abandon their beliefs and just be good. How about this? I'll spout some vague new discoveries about the plan that demand we align our intentions with perfection before the Rifts will accept us into paradise, or some such nonsense. That should work, though I suspect a fair amount will simply just jump into the closest rift. I'm sure there will be some that ignore the message completely, though. Enough to keep my knife skills up, at least.